pesa, how to look at money, kujipanga. And for me, where I come from with this conversation is to give you the knowledge. Is that when you get there, because you will get there, we all want to grow, we all want to invest, we all want to prosper, we all want to enjoy the good things of this world, you know, as the Bible promises us. So it's also good pia tukuwe na wisdom, akili nayo tulipatiwa. And we are live on Facebook and on Twitter pia na pia kwa YouTube. I'm still here with Zipporah Njoroge. Karibu sana. And you know, how have you been?
Pleasure being here. Yes.
You're good?
I'm good.
Karibia to your microphone kupate vizuri. And of course, we've been talking about things that are not related to loans here. I was telling you it's my 3rd anniversary.
Sure.
And you are like, yours is coming up next 13 years.
16
years.
16 years. Oh, yes.
And I will not share the secrets you've given me. But we've all concluded that even this information is very important for the survival of marriages. Because there are people ambao wanasumbuana kwa sababu mmoja alichukua loan bila kuambia mwingine, ama mwingine alichukuliana loan alafu ule akaingia nyasi nayo, ama hakutaka kuwa accountable. And I don't know why sana wanaume wataki kuulizwa maswali na pesa walichukua pamoja. And so today we are talking about leading factors of loan defaulting. I think it's very important pia unajiangalia, maybe unaona naenda hii direction ujipange. And also maybe you are in debt, uko na deni. This conversation is also yours because we want to see what to do. This is practical kwa mtu wako na deni, and also very important in the form of knowledge kwa ule bado hajaingia. Yeah, so karibu sana Zipporah, and first of all I want to thank you also for coming through again. Unajua siku ya kwanza ya pili sasa hapa ni nyumbani.
Thank you so much, Karis. I truly appreciate also, and I say hello to all our listeners of Hope FM. I'm delighted to be here this afternoon just to talk about debt and a recap of what we did last week. I think we say that debt is an obligation that you owe somebody else, and deni lazima, tukasema deni lazima ilipwe.
Lazima.
Yes, and we talked about a good debt, a bad debt. I think all that we talked about. And today, as you mentioned, I just want to talk about the causes. What makes you to default? Nini inakufanya ukose kulipa ile deni? You as a borrower. Maybe there are factors that are maybe borrower related. Some factors could be lenders related. So I'll be mixing all of them. But squarely you'll see that most of the default occurs because of the data related factors. Mwenyewe tu alichukua mkopo akasema anataka kufanyia jambo fulani, kumbe alikuwa na mpango ya kwenda Dubai holiday. Sasa akienda holiday akirudi job hakuna, si ndio? Mambo imeharibika.
Inakuwa normal holidays.
Yes. And to start us off, because we base all our knowledge and wisdom in the word of God. Today I have a verse for us, and I'll have several of them as we come to the close. And today I'm looking at Luke 16:11, and this is what the word says: "If then you have not been faithful in the unrighteous wealth, who will entrust to you the true riches?" If then you have not been faithful in the unrighteous wealth, who will entrust to you the true riches? Wow. Been unfaithful in repaying a debt that you borrowed. So who will entrust you with the true riches of God that are coming your way, right? So there are several reasons that land a borrower in a loan to a loan default. And one of them, the first one that maybe I'll want to talk about, Karis, is loan diversion. Diversion of a loan. You went to a circle, you went to a bank, and you took a loan, and you said that I want to purchase this item. Maybe I want to buy a plot, or I want this. But you did not use the money for that particular purpose which you had intended. So once you do that, probably, let me give an example. You were taking a loan for what we call a working capital for your business. But you step out like this after you have received the loan, you decide, there is this plot, let me just buy it, biashara itajipanga. Not forgetting that the business was to generate the income to repay the loan. So most people out here, they go to take a loan without indicating that they just put, they are even told we sema ni ya hii kazi, and then when once you get the money utafanya vile unataka, but we never discuss beyond what is the source of the repayment, because we take a loan knowing how you are going to repay the loan. So that is a cause number one. The other one is lack of proper planning. Lack of plans on how to pay. Unfortunately, I think we talked about this kind of lenders who hawk loans. So they just tell you because they have a target. So anakuja anakuambia, we chukua tu, ukishapata pesa utajipanga what to do with the money. That is a wrong move. That will definitely lead you to a default, ama itakufanya ukose kulipa ile deni, because you never had a plan. You had not sat down, planned, known that this is what I want, the loan of this much to do this, but because umesikia pesa zinapeanwa kwa urahisi, ukajump kwa ile bus, hata ujui destination mahali itakulead. So that is another cause that leads to loan default kwa borrowers. The other one, and most of us are victims, is what we call multiple borrowing. Umekopa Tala, umekopa branch, umekopa KCB, umeenda kwa sako,
wanasemaga kupoesha.
Kila mahali, yani you are indebted. So people are calling you right and center. You don't even know, unaulizanga ukipigiwa na kupigia juu ile mkopo, unasema gani? As in, because you have so many loans. Oh my God. That is also another thing that is ailing our society. You have borrowed, and when we are talking about debt management, we actually talk about consolidating your lenders. Una make sure uko na lender kama mmoja ndio una deal na yeye, because imagine you have 10 or 5 lenders who are coming to you because you've defaulted. I'm telling you, Karis, utajitoa uhai.
Hata utajua unakujia side gani.
Exactly, utajua. That is true. So that is another thing, the multiple borrowing. The other one is what we call taking bad loans. You remember we talked about a good and a bad loan?
Yes.
A loan for consumption. Nice, nice. Umeenda Costo, umetuchapa, umetuwekea picha venye mlienjoy. Then the other 1 month you are back kwa
so kama mimi ni anniversary, na sina kakiros, na lazima kakiros ka happen. Si unaamua tu acha tu
kamba ya uchome,
kamba
baadaye utajisort baadaye. Okay, you could think maybe, wacha tuseme for now, maybe you want to go treat someone because it's your anniversary and congratulations once again. It's not bad, life is for the living. Live, but I want you to have that thought in mind. Nikichukua nitalipa aje. Unajua hiyo mafikira ndio sana sana hatunanga. Unasemanga life itajisort. Let me tell you, our listener today, hakuna vitu itajisort kwa sababu ya mkopo. So inabidi ukae chini, uplan. Tumesema lazima upange, nampeleka out because I'm treating her for this. Lakini ujiambie, how will I pay the loan? Tuko sawa? Wewe chukua, lakini ujue uangalie kama salo end month itatosha kulipa. Then the other one is procrastination in loan repayment. Procrastination, the greatest thief of all time. Procrastination. Nitalipa. You keep saying, people call you, sujanilipa, nitalipa. When nitalipa, and probably you have the money right now to repay the loan. Unasema nikipeana hii nitaachwa bila pesa mkononi. So you keep on postponing the loan repayment. So remember, if the loan has installments, as you're procrastinating, the other installment falls due, right? Itakufika point unafaa sasa kulipa 2 or 3 installments. Hapo ndio nasema mimi nimelemewa. But because you bought time and you are not ready to release the money that belonged to the lender. Kwa hivyo hiyo pia tunajipata inatuweka kwa mashimo. Sawa? Then the other one is mambo ingine ina happen. Kama saizi unaweza kuwa ulikuwa job poa, lose job. Maybe income yako imereduce. Ulikuwa umejipanga vizuri, that is beyond you. Lakini tutaangalia upande ule mwingine when we look at the second part of this session, whereby you will be you now have to face your lender. Umwambie, job imepotea, job imekatika, salo iko hivi, hata sina salary. It's we normally advise that you face your lenders. Face your lenders and umwambie situation vile kume happen, explain. So the lenders, not all lenders, of course, if you are borrowing from Shylocas, I'm sorry, they will not listen to you. They will be coming for, your properties and all that. But if you borrowed from a commendable institution, they will definitely give an ear and listen, and they will sit down with you to see how do we now work it out, because the job is not there. There's a job loss, there's a collapse of the business for real, and it was beyond you. So hiyo pia tunasema reduced income is another cause of default.
And kuna kitu ulisema ya ku borrow from one institution.
Yes.
I think now there is also trust if you go that direction. So if anything happen, you are assured pia they have a listening ear.
That is very
That's
true.
also an advantage.
Oh yes, Karis, that is very true. The other one is, of course, uncertainties. We are human beings, and things keep on happening. You might maybe the death of the a close family member, sickness may strike when you're in the middle of repaying a loan. So that does not that may make you to also not pay your loan as you're expected to pay. And we're also saying if you're dealing with a credible lender, you can go and sit with them. So those are some of the things that may lead you to loan default. Then we also talk about the other one would be unexpected change of terms or repayment by the lender. Unajua kuna kaa tu hivi lender nasema interest imeshoot. So ukiangalia penye interest imeshoot, unaona you can't go beyond pali ulikuwa una repay.
Na lenders wako na right gani ya kupandisha interest na kushukisha vile wanataka?
Oh, good. Kwa our last session tuliongea kuhusu zile fine those fine wordings ambazo ziko kwa loan agreement. Kuna zile when you're talking about debt or loans, we talk about loans that have a floating rate and loans that have a fixed rate. So if the loan had a floating, actually like now when the base rate was increased by central bank, by CBK, the interest, of course, most banks wrote to borrowers and told them due to the changes, we are hiking the interest, now will be charged at this rate from here to here. So that change can also affect, or like now the tax issue, the tax bracket as the the finance bill, the big animal. Yeah, everybody is we have those, I don't know, but that also somebody's salary might, like this month the lenders are going to feel it because they've said they're backdating the July and now the August, so the deductions will be double. So imagine you are repaying a loan, sasa ulikuwa unalipa loan, hiyo kitu imehit pale kwa payslip. So utapata kwamba utaweza kulipia ile loan the way you are supposed to repay the loan. So there could be unexpected change. So that unexpected change will actually hit the lenders badly, and they will come back to you, and a penalty will be on you. So prepare to start negotiating with with your lenders.
Na wewe bado umekuwa hit na hiyo
exactly. And then the other one, of course, is financial literacy. You are a witness. The money subject was never taught to us in the school system. So we also have the financial literacy levels ziko down. So watu wengi kuhandle pesa, kujua maneno ya pesa, we only know how to spend. That is what we knew when we were growing up. I think my grandfather used to say that, see me as I go. So if I would put it in Greek, that money is to be seen and for it to go. So we have that mentality that money is to be spent. We are not in the culture of planning, knowing how to relate with money, because the relationship with money is relational. How do you relate with it? So sometimes you are unable to meet your obligations or to pay your debts because of lack of financial literacy. So that also comes in. They don't understand that I'm supposed to repay my loan on a monthly basis. Maybe some people think I bora nilipe hii mwezi, but they don't know that there is a specific date. Hiyo date ikipita hivi inaruka, interest ina jump, penalty inaingia. Right? So that is also some knowledge that we also
That's
need
why
to
we're
understand.
having this conversation here.
Yes.
Mtu asikuwe na excuse kusikia maneno ya hizi vitu ya pesa na and stuff.
Yes, thank you.
Wow.
Right. The other one is what we call poor choice of a loan product.
Yeah.
And I think in our very last session zinakuja tutaongea juu ya hizo mambo, selecting a proper product for your need. Utapata mtu anataka working capital. You know, working capital, we normally say it's a short term loan. So you'll find someone going for a short term loan to do a project. So definitely by the time the repayments for that loan starts, you will not have completed your project. So if it was to bring some income, that income will not yet be will not start flowing in. So as you're shopping for a loan, it's good to ask yourself, is this a development loan? And I think this one is usually very clear, even with the circles, with the savings credit unions. They usually have a product they call like a development loan. So it's a long-term loan. So unapata mzee anachukua loan ni a short term, ni a long term project, lakini ameweka analipa na 1 year 2 years. Definitely project yako itakuwa imeiva kabisa. Si ndio? So wakati unaenda kushop for a loan, that's why tunasema choose the right product. I want working capital, which is short term. I want school fees loan, which is also short term. I want a development loan, which is long term. So hizo mambo lazima ukue ukienda kushop for a product, ujue hii product purpose, tunasema loan purpose number 1 lazima ikue pale, si ndio? Yes. And then the other one tunajipata nayo, tuko zile nyakati za tuliziita predatory lending practices. Predatory lending practices. Huku nje tunaita sharks, wanaitwa loan sharks. Kama wewe ulisijui kama ulisoma ile kitabu tulikuwa tunaita Romeo and Juliet. Nafikiri bado huko umefika hizo gazeti.
Nilisoma Merchant.
The Merchant
of Venice. Na ilikuwa na Shylock mmoja mkali sana.
Si ndio?
Alikosa kulipwa, akaitisha a pound of flesh.
Wow. You see? So that's what we are saying. We are also living in those times. And most people who are writing to us, it is because they borrowed from Shylockers. So their rate is very high, and actually they are ruthless. That is what we say. Their rate is very, it is out of this world. So that's what we are saying. Even you should be able to, don't be excited to take the loan. Watu wengi wanafurahi, mkopo. Kumbe yule mtu, they smile at you when you are taking the loan. But when they come to get the money from you, they come even like, ready to kill, ready to pounce on you. So lazima ukwe na hekima ya mahali unaenda kukopa. Na hiyo mambo yote tutaiangalia.
Unamjua?
Namjua. Thank you, Lois.
Some few questions coming through, and I think nimekuforwardia 2-3 hapo. We are going to talk about that before tutoke, because we are dealing with leading factors of loan defaulting. And the second part of the conversation is what to do if you are in debt. And I know there are young people in debt, there are old people in debt out there. So I'm really interested in knowing what to do. So we are talking about leading factors. I think you had a few points to add.
1 or 2. Then we can now ask ourselves, is a debt a life sentence?
Let's continue.
Yep. Wow. Thank you, Karis. I think another factor that makes people to dishonor or not to perform their debts, as far as repayment is concerned, is unfavorable economic conditions. That also does happen. Your business would be doing so well, but maybe your line your business kukatokea kitu, maybe like the way we normally see, like maybe there was riots, business maybe closed, ama moto, ama kitu, but those economic conditions maybe that are also beyond you, right? Maybe like you are importing, for example, there is you are importing things from out there, so the dollar rate right now is very high. So you realize that all your margins, they've been cleaned up by the dollar rate. So you find yourself being in a position of not being able to repay the loan. So that also is a factor, and I'm sure the lender, you can always negotiate with the lender and see how you can be assisted. And then the other one, I think there was a bad reasons taking a loan to start a business. I think that's also this, and maybe that one with the banks. By the way, a bank will never lend you money to start a business. That is one thing. Banks will never lend starters, unfortunately. Yeah. But I from where they come from, I do understand. They fund already established business. And that is why when you are applying for a loan, they always ask you, how many years in business? They ask you, do you have audited books of accounting? They want to see how your business has been behaving over the years. So taking a loan to start a business, you are not sure of, you are not in, it's not something you've done before. So the people who want to risk, maybe are the Shylockers. They have nothing to lose. You are the one who will lose big time. So they will lend you. Others, that is why we normally say, if you are starting a business, the easiest place to turn to is friends or even family to help you start up. Yeah, but taking a loan to start a business, that one we said it's one of the reasons for debt being bad. The final one in that line, we also see it's lack of financial discipline. Right, to commit to repaying a loan to completion. When we talk about borrowing, lenders look at 5 C's. We call them the 5 C's of credit. Though now we have gone even almost 10 C's. But the common one is character. So there are people whose character is inclined to not paying obligations. Wanajulikana hata kwa ofisi. Anakuitisha tu dhao, apige round, sijui anaendanga wapi, nikirudi nikurudishie. Inaishia tu hivyo. So you will find some borrowers have their character is a character of not repaying loans. So we normally talk about the character, we talk about capacity, we talk about collateral, we talk about conditions, we also talk about the other one is we talked about collateral. I think the others can remain capital. The capital aspect. So when the lender wants to lend to you, those are the key 5 C's that they look at. So lack of discipline, hapo inaleta shida. And I think with that now you know, and you can align yourself. You know why you have defaulted. I think based on those are just but a few. There's so many reasons, but those are some of them that make borrowers not to honor their obligation on time.
Kuna sijui kama hii pia inaweza ingia kwa hizi points.
Yes.
Kuna watu wako na, they say they cannot control it, but I look at it as addictions, possibly.
Yes.
Anaweza, lakini anabet, ama anakunywa.
Yes.
Ama anaenda kujaribu bahati nasibu. Like ako so into those things that they cannot help it.
They can't help it.
And so the money comes, money goes. Money comes, money goes.
They cannot account for it. I think also that is a discipline. It's lack of discipline and some form of carelessness. So and having that mentality of I don't care. Mambo zitajisort. Ndio watu husema siku hizi ati mambo itajisort with time, but that is not the real thing. Yes.
Let's talk about what to do.
Right.
Uko kwa moto sasa. Ufanye nini? Umejifungia kila siku. Hata ulitoa laini ya simu, ulihamisha curtain, ile room wanaangalianga wanaona ni empty, lakini huko ndani judeli imeshika sasa. Wafanye nini?
Wow. I know many people are in this situation because I meet them almost on a daily basis. They are indebted. You are calling them. They are being called. They are giving all manner of reasons. But I usually, I'm here to tell you, I'm here to give you hope, by the way. Debt is not a death sentence. If you're in debt, there's something you can do. What can you do? I think number one, do not ignore. Do not ignore a bank or a SACCO when they call or write a letter. I know many people tend to nanyamazia. They'll follow you up. They'll send somebody else. They will call you. They'll actually give you notice. Please do not ignore.
Kuna wengine tulikuwa kwa matatu. Tunaongea tu vizuri.
Yes.
Lakini kuna call alishika. Akasema, "Hello." Akachange sauti. Ilikuwa ya pesa.
We've had that.
Si mimi. Mwingine. Hata huyo anasikia saa hizi. Nilimwambia anakuaga Hope FM. Oh yeah, there is hope.
Yeah, there is hope. Yeah, so failure to respond annoys creditors, and that is why they'll take another stern action. They'll give you no peace. You know, we always say that debtors have got no memory, but creditors do have memory. So they'll never forget about their debt. Wewe utakaa tu umejifanya umesahau, but they are doing something. By the way, behind the scenes, they are making arrangements. They are liaising with an auctioneer. They are liaising with a lawyer. They are liaising with a debt collector, because that is their money. So do not ignore the calls. Do not ignore the letters. Go and face your fears. That is what we usually say, and express it. If genuinely you have a genuine reason of why you are not able to pay, I think it's important. You just take yourself to them, talk to them. So that is one advice that I would give. The other one is you can ask the lender. You can go ask the lender, maybe to allow you maybe first to be paying interest. Then after things stabilize, maybe you lost a job, you can now start repaying the actual loan. So there's a way out, or they can even waive the penalties for you. Then you are able to start now paying the loan plus the interest that is there. So that is one thing that you can do. The other thing that you can do, discuss with the lender to extend the loan period. Probably ulichukua ya miezi sita na umeona kabisa hizo miezi sita haziendi mahali. By the way, I think most policies or procedures, especially in the banking sector, they allow what we call loan restructuring at least once a year. They allow a loan restructuring once, so the loan can be restructured to be able to support you. So that is something that you can do. Then you can also request, the issue of requesting now also to make reduced repayments. Kazi imekatika, imeenda hivyo, so huwezi afford kulipa the 20,000, but you know from the pension or from what you will be getting, you can be repaying like this. Face the creditor, make the right adjustments. Then of course we also tell people you move from the expensive house and get a cheaper house. Wewe umejikazana na hiyo class yako, unajikazana kuishi Runda, Karen, na uko na madeni ya wenyewe. Tafadhali, nobody cares about you. Move, go to uende Umoja ama uende mahali kwingine. You adjust your lifestyle ndio ukue na pesa zinabaki za kufanya nini? Za kulipa ile deni. Because a debt will always, itakuwa bado inakuhounds, inakusumbua, itakupatia peace of mind. What else to do? Live within your means. Sindio? Hiyo umeambiwa mara nyingi.
Hata tuliguzia sana kwa personal financial discipline.
Good, living within your means. Tuko ni kama kuna, by the way, we are not following a man's standard. There is no standard that has been set. Hakuna manual, ati mtu akona manual, ati huyu ndio successful, in your life poa. There is no manual. So you make those adjustments, and maybe it will only be a short time. You finish repaying the loans, urudi status yako ile unataka kujimaintain nayo. Hiyo ingine tunaambia mtu don't be bullied to pay more than you can afford. Nakwambia, ndio nimekwambia, it's not a death sentence. Kama hauwezi na umeenda umejieleza hauwezi, usikae ati unaanza kuchukua kamba. Like there was a recent case in Githurai, when collectors went, wale walikuwa wanadaiwa jamaa walienda. That's a true story. Na wale wanasikia wanaweza confirm. There was then this man told them, wacha nikuje. Akapanda juu that floor, akafikiria ameenda kwa nyumba to get something, alienda akajirusha, and he died. And that was it. It's because of being followed. So that's what we are saying. Usiallow iende such that, yes, you will make a mistake, sindio? But remember, God is a God of a second chance. You can adjust and repay off those loans. So don't be bullied to a point whereby you want to take your life. Life does not belong to you. Life belongs to God. So why take it away, right? So the other advice that I tell people, you pay the most expensive debts. Wewe unajua zile madebt uko nazo za Shylockers. Za Shylockers zinazaa kila siku. Unaangalia loan book yako yote, wale watu wote wanakudai. Unaangalia hii interest yake inakuanga 20% per month, inakuanga hivi. Unasort hizo ambazo kwanza the most expensive. Ukimalizana nazo, then hizi ndogo ndogo you can manage to sort them out pole. Then the other one, I think to encourage you, as maybe we are coming to the end of the show, is don't believe this is just me in this. Don't believe it is only you. people are also out there, they are also having their problem, but they are facing their fears, they are facing their worries, they are facing their creditors. So I advise that you also face your creditor and let them know. But the creditors you can't face, and that is why there is a lesson we shall be talking how to build your credit credit profile, so that you don't fall prey to these Shylockers and the likes. Ukwe na mahali unaenda kukopa ambapo ni kuna at least kuna class, at least kuna formalities, si mahali tu leta TV, sijui wekelea radio, sijui such kind of lenders. The other one is don't ignore the problem, face it. That's what we've said. Get in touch with your creditors, keep them. Unajua kama uko na deni ya mtu unampigia, unamwambia jo, nakumbuka bado hujadeni, sijasahau, huyo jamaa atakupigia kesho. Kwa hivyo ni vizuri make sure you are in touch with your creditors and don't borrow money to pay debts. Now hiyo ni shimo, unachimba shimo, si ndio? Kuzika shimo ingine. So una create shimo hata kubwa kuliko apparently mchanga, sijui kwa nini kichimbua haitoshi shimo.
Exactly. Hiyo mchanga haita fit
kwa hii ingine. Unaona? So unajipata tu kwa hiyo cycle. So mimi na advise tu listeners wetu leo kwamba make sure you don't borrow a debt to pay another debt. Make the proper adjustments ndio usiingie kwa hiyo matatizo. And then of course the other one is don't worry over money matters all the time. You will be overwhelmed. Kama kona usikaange tu kila saa unajishika tu hivi madeni do something, start small, and that is also what we say as far as debt is. And maybe it's not good that we just end. The word of God is full of verses that talk about debts, right? Romans 13:7-8 inasema hivi, give to everyone what you owe them. If you owe taxes, pay taxes. If revenue, then revenue. Unaendelea hapo. 13:7-8 Romans. Proverbs anatuambia nini? Proverbs 22:7 inasema, the rich rule over the poor and the borrower is the slave to the lender. Nafikiri hata hiyo tulisema
last time.
Alafu hiyo ingine inasema Proverbs 13:11, dishonest money dwindles away, but whoever gathers money little by little makes it grow. And finally Psalms 37:21 inatuambia nini? The wicked borrow and do not repay, but the righteous give generously. So our listeners, I want to believe they belong to that class.
They are righteous people.
That they are righteous people. So if you are in the business of borrowing and not paying, then kumbuka Mungu when you are borrowing.
I love this conversation sana because when I look at it as knowledge gained, then somebody knows what to expect, somebody knows what to do in case this happens, and also looking at the practicality level is that somebody knows now si lazima aende reserve na change simu na jifiche. There's something you can do. I also know of young people wanahama kila mahali. Kuna kanyumba Uganda, kuna kanyumba kuna moja mtaa yetu hapatikanangi hata uwezi Christmas tu na anaingiaga kwao wanatoka nani kwa sababu tu ya mapesa. Pesa ukisikia claims vile natafutwa like this young man is not happy. He is not happy. Hata yeye ndamtumia hii clip aone maybe kuna venye anaweza saidika. There was a few questions here. Kwanza wewe anauliza kwanza kama I think utamwambia yes or no hapa. Unaanza can one borrow to venture into a transport industry? Anataka kubainganya. Do bank issue such loans? Is that a wise move?
Okay, to start, acha tuulizane kwamba ni kitu sijui kama amepata contract kama amepata contract kupeana hiyo kazi ya transport. Inakaa pia akae chini ajiulize how much will I be making, afanye hiyo hesabu. Hiyo ndio hesabu atufanyi. Kwa hivyo akae kwanza ajiulize nimesha hiyo kazi kama ni tuseme ni kazi ya Uber ama nini, ni vizuri pia akae na watu wako hiyo job ya transport, akae na wao ujue. Because I know there are people who are making it even in transport industry. Right.
We had two questions. I don't know which one you'll answer. I feel like we have time for one. Chagua ni gani utajibu.
Okay. Wow. The other one was wacha tujibu moja then hiyo nyingine tutaongea baadaye. Loan to boost business, then you find interest is too high. I think this takes us back to the matter of calculating. And it's if you are borrowing from an established lender, they always ask you for your cash flow statement. Wanataka kuona because they remember their standing charges ambazo unalipia. Kuna salaries, kuna rent, hizo ziko tu standing. So ujiulize hii interest yenye inakuja, zile sales nita make, can they manage to repay this loan plus the interest? Kwa hivyo kama margin yako, unajua margin yako inakuanga 15%, usha calculate kama margin yako ni 15% ya ile sales ambazo utapata. So ukitoa hizo cost zingine, hiyo 15% margin itatosha kulipa interest ya around 25% or 20%. So if you calculate that way, you will make a decision on whether to borrow or not to borrow. And if you have to borrow, then itabidi uangalie ile loan ambayo itakuwa na muda mrefu kidogo, so that you pay bit by bit, so that you don't erode all your profits, because you're also depending on profits to meet your to meet your standing whatever we call them, standing costs, ambazo ni rent, ambazo ni bills, ambazo ni salaries. So make sure even as you are borrowing, remember an interest is a new expense that is coming. So you must factor it in your profits margin.
An interest is a new expense.
Yes.
Maybe hata ulichukua umekuwa kunoma, you know what to do. Tushakwambia some of the things you need to do.
Yes.
Wow, the time is gone. Inaenda mbio sana. I feel like I'm in class. Once I mean, like I'm in school. Ni mtihani tu.
You can join my class, by the way, Kadis. I teach credit management.
I want to join.
Yeah, you can come and learn this.
Nitumie vile naweza kuja bana.
And become a certified credit professional.
I want to learn. I'm enjoying this so much because now even my perception of loans and debts is really changing slowly but slowly. Yeah.
So by the fourth lesson,
nitakuwa nimekuwa mtu ambaye kuna akili na hekima. Asante sana mama, and of course Zipporah will be here again next Tuesday, God willing. We keep talking about this series, anything related to loans, and of course some of your questions will be answered. But most importantly, you cannot get this knowledge and act like you don't know these things. Now you know these things. When you're out there trying to get this biashara started or trying to boost, you know what to do. You know, hii nitajikaza tu mwenyewe, hii sitaenda mahali, alafu ikishika nitaenda mahali.